Reapers. But yeah, it's the TVT, guys. First mirror match we're gonna see here, and it's gonna be interesting. As Penguin stated before the game had started, this will make sure that the statistics read that literally every game played between Ernst Young and Google has been won by a Terran.
And yeah, we did see both of these players play off in PvZ and TVZ and TVP respectively, but we haven't seen them in their mirror matchups. How well are they going to play against each other? And you know what? When it comes down to a mirror matchup, Rifkin, it's genuinely, it's almost always the player who plays better in the game ends up winning more so than even the other matchups.
Yeah, it's the mirror matchups really come up with that test of skill, but I kind of feel that TVT is maybe not the most difficult mirror matchup out of all of them to play, but it is like the most chess moviest.
Absolutely.
Once you get things like siege tanks into the game, I mean, first off, let's remember, siege tanks don't require research anymore for siege mode. So, I mean, those siege lines are going to be up and early, and it's really not fun trying to break siege lines, Penguin. It doesn't matter whether it's TVT or not.
Absolutely, Rifkin. I mean, it's so difficult to break siege lines as it is, and of course the siege... the lack of a siege upgrade now essentially allows the Terran to get another siege tank out with those minerals. But we've already seen a variation between the two players' build orders so far, and it's very early in the game. But we saw Illini go for gas first here before his barracks. Jimbo also has a gas up at this point, but he went barracks first, so his gas is slightly behind. And we are going to be seeing a reactor coming out for Jimbo. Is he going to go double Reapers? We're going to have to wait and see. I mean, he's not going to be moving it out to...
Yeah, there was a bit of a joke about it, but I would really like to see him do Reapers after joking about how bad Reapers are.
That would be pretty funny. I mean, mind games, man. It's a... You know,
for those who don't know,
mind games...
Reapers have lost the bonus damage they had versus Light, and they only do 4 damage now. They've also lost the uphill combat vision, but you can make them out of reactors, so you get them out a little bit quicker and more of them faster. So... whether Reapers will be the choice or not, no, probably not with that factory now going down.
Yeah. And
darn, I was really looking forward to it.
We see the factory finishing up here for Illini as well. So factory for both players here, reactors for both players,
ooh,
slight
Jimbo.
difference in build order.
I actually went for a gas steal. I didn't actually catch that. Little interesting play. Illini not really needing to go for a double gas early with his current build. Does help, though.
I actually am not sure how much I like that. It does force Illini to stay on one gas a little longer, but he lost an SCV for the cost of that, as well as losing the temporary minerals in that refinery. With the starport coming up now for Illini as well, this is going to be really cool to see what he opts for, because we're seeing Marines still being produced out of that barracks. There we go. He's going to be switching it over now. But I'm interested to see what Illini is going to be going for. This is a pretty interesting build order so far. There's a Widow Mine on the way.
You can try and get away with Hellion drops in TVT, and it can be rather effective if your opponent's not ready for it. But we've got Jimbo moving out across the field with 5 Marines. He's got reactored barracks. I mean, I think he'll be ready for whatever Illini is going to throw at him. And if he can get in there and do a little bit of aggression and a little bit of damage before Illini is ready, these 5 Marines might just save him a lot of time and, quite frankly, resources.
He's actually got 2 more rally behind them as well as a Hellion. So this is going to shape up to be quite a strong little force here.
Almost just missing each other. Illini getting the watchtower. He knows the Marines are on the way, and while Marines are pretty nice, Hellions kind of kill Marines very quickly.
There's a Widow Mine here as well. If he burrows that, it's going to be so difficult to break up this ramp. And he is opting to turn around.
Illini, though, going to lose both of his Hellions if he's not careful. He will, in fact, lose both of his Hellions. So a nice early start for Jimbo. Now Jimbo's going to try and push up here, but the Widow Mine, ooh, will he see it? He will see it. He won't be able to do anything about it just yet, but he can sacrifice a Marine. Maybe, okay, he goes for the Hellion instead.
Medevac still not a good engagement for Jimbo, though. He's going to lose a lot of these units if he's not careful.
He's going to lose them all anyways. The Hellions are just too darn fast.
Yeah, this is actually not a very good position for Jimbo to be in. He's building a command center at the moment. He doesn't have very much at home, and if Illini decides to go for a counterattack, which it looks like he wants to do, we could be seeing Jimbo in a world of hurt at the moment.
But he is going for a bunker. I like this. He kind of knows he's, alright, I'm not in the best position. Now, the problem with this bunker, though, is Illini's got that medevac. He can lift up and drop anywhere in the base he wants, and he's got 4 Hellions to do it with.
And I mean, this is another one of those sort of situations where he can have the Hellions on the low ground, drop the Marines up, and then drop the Hellions. Either way, he can reinforce from the low ground here.
He can also secure his position very nicely with his Widow Mine, as there's no detection for Jimbo. He cannot scan right now, Penguin.
He does have a second orbital command morphing.
Siege tank is up, though. I like that. So now it's going to be hard for Illini to really push in here with too much. That Siege tank is going to zone out most of the base.
This is great micro on the Viking, and it looks like it will get the medevac if he's not careful.
Ooh,
The Widowmine is burrowed to try to deal with it, but this is going to be so precarious if he tries to pick up. I don't think Illini should go for it. That's one shot away from dying.
He needs to pull back. Anyways, the tank is now sieging up, and his Hellions and tanks, Marines are going to take some fire here. Oh no, wow. They're literally, look at that penguin. Look how close to the edge they are. They could be closer. And, no, Lucky do it! Oh man, Illini, lucky there for only about 10 seconds.
Speaking of Illini and sort of expansions, he is going to be getting his own expansion up here at the natural.
This is going to put him ahead pretty significantly, as Jimbo does have his command center, but he's still only mining off of the one base.
Now, the other thing to note here is that Jimbo's is going to be forced to continue muling on that main base for a little while longer. So the longer Illini can keep him forced on this one base, the faster that main is going to end up mining out in the later game, if it goes that long.
Well, we got more production structures coming out of Jimbo. Looks like he's leaning a little bit more towards factories as the weapon of choice here. Whereas Illini is going for that bio sort of centric play. You know what? I gotta say, bio, if done correctly, can really do a lot of damage to mech. It's not fun trying to keep up with the mobility of those afterburner metamechs when you've only got siege lines constantly moving around.
Yeah, this is going to be that classic battle, mech versus bio, maybe even bio mech, depending how many tanks he ends up going for. Illini is going to get a second one, so it looks like it is going to be actually biomech versus biomech for the moment, but as you said, Jimbo is going to be adding on a second factory. He may well add on a few more, just given the power of those Hellbats and siege tanks nowadays, but we'll have to see how this goes. He still has a good number of Marines out on the field, but he has cut Marine production at this point, and he is going to be switching over that barracks on the reactor. The factory going to be landing on there, adding on another one.
The Battle Hellions are exactly what you need to try and break through a siege line. If your opponent also has a large tank Marine composition, the siege tanks, they do a lot of damage versus armored, but guess what? Hellbats are kind of light units, so they can take a bit of damage with that huge health pool, allowing the Marines to kind of sit back a little bit behind them on those lines and not really get shredded to bits by tank shrapnel.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's very difficult when it comes to current TVT biomech versus mech in Heart of the Swarm, because it's so difficult to maneuver around and actually engage a Terran army. I mean, in Wings of Liberty, if you build up enough of a Marauder composition and attack from several sides, you can sort of crush the army. But with Hellbats, the way they are nowadays, it becomes increasingly more difficult to actually get a favorable engagement. So it all really comes down to harassment.
Something I'd like to point out here, I caught him doing this last game, but I thought it was more of a desperation thing. Illini seems to be very keen on dropping supply. I don't know if this is because he doesn't foresee the supply depots and finds himself blocked, but last game he was dropping supply depots quite a bit, and this game we also see him starting to do that, as 2 supply depots have recently been called down.
Yeah, this is another thing where that hurts quite a bit, because mules mine a lot of minerals in their lifespan. So this is 2 mules that have essentially not been utilized.
Yeah, it's about 250 minerals for those that don't know per mule. That's about roughly the income they'll have, depending on how mining goes, I guess. So it's, you know, oh, nice drop. It's not going to do too much, so the Viking will clean us up as well. So Jimbo trying to poke out and trying to do a bit of damage, not going to be able to do as much as I think he wants to.
Oh, the missile turret is not going to kill it, thanks to the
Wow, 10 health remaining. That's pretty sick.
And he will lose the majority of, he will lose all of those units minus the medevac, but he does get the medevac out alive, and that is, of course, the one that costs gas. So, a nice little save there from Jimbo.
Indeed. Now, the thing is, Illini, look at the stream of red coming across the map, Penguin. There's a huge army advantage here for Illini, and I'm not talking just a couple Marines and a couple tanks. I mean, he's got 38 Marines and 4 tanks. Jimbo has 4 Marines and 6 tanks. Now, granted, he does have 7 Hellions, but Hellions only going to do so much if he can't get close to his opponent's army.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see Jimbo securing this 3rd base now as well, and of course, this is so easy to defend with siege tanks, just because you can also get the siege tanks sieged up in siege mode along this little area that can defend both the 3rd and the natural. This is a really nice spread we have here from Jimbo. But here comes the line dipping forward.
Ooh, I actually don't agree with him choosing to siege his tanks. You really just want to try and push in there and get as much damage as quickly as you can. But he does come out ahead either way, so we can't fault him too much. He's actually cut off the reinforcements of Jimbo.
Nice drop along the tanks as well. He is going to be able to pick off both of these. By the looks of it, stimming the Marines, one of them will go down. The other one may be able to survive.
The command center is becoming a planetary, though, so he's not going to be able to push into this with the Marine fire, at least. But Illini got a lot of damage done there, and as we said before, it's not fun breaking a siege tank line, but guess what, guys? He just broke Jimbo's siege tank line. So while he didn't come out with a large army, he came out with his tanks, and Jimbo did not come out with his.
Looking at the resources lost, it's been very even so far. We have less than 300 resources actually separating these two players. And you can tell in the supply as well, it's 116 to 120. And Jimbo's been doing very well, just defending his way through that one push. And we do see a fourth base being established for Illini, though, and he really wants to take this economic lead.
No doubt about it. With this with this fourth base location coming down, it's also an orbital. I want to keep that in mind because right now, Jimbo has two planetaries and two orbitals and one planetary, which means he's lacking an extra mule rotation, whereas we have 4 command centers that are 4 orbitals, or will be 4 orbitals, for Illini. So his economy is just going to be so much better than Jimbo's.
Yeah, I mean, this is one
only
of those...
if these Hellions don't do a massive amount of damage as they're coming into the fourth base location.
Oh, they're lining up, Rifkin, and they're Blue Flame Hellions, but it looks like he's going to be able to save them.
Oh, wow, those SCVs pulled right in the nick of time. Illini definitely paying attention. That couldn't have been a quicker response, Penguin.
That was really nice reaction time here by Illini, and it looks like Jimbo's going to continue trying to push on in. Does eat one siege tank shell there.
There's a large chunk of units here at the Northern Watchtower. I mean, Jimbo might be seeing this and thinking, like, yeah, my opponent, I guess he didn't get out with as much as I thought he did.
Oh, Jimbo's going to actually try to rush the fourth with Hellbats.
Yeah, did you see that split?
Yeah, this is actually really nicely done.
Oh, these tanks are melting so fast, Penguin. That's how that
5 of them
so
remain, and
wow,
this can actually
big assault plane on the side of Jimbo's third base. Siege lines are up for Illini. Both players are just kind of shelling away at each other right now, but Illini's got a lot of Marines ready to back this up. The Hellbats are here, though, for Jimbo, and again, they got a lot of health, Penguin. They can kind of walk into siege tanks without too much worry. Meanwhile,
on the other side of the base, other side of the map, rather, Illini has been forced to evacuate his own fourth base. Yep, looks like Jimbo may hold here, but he's taking a lot of damage and being forced to repair a lot on that planetary. That's costing him quite a bit of...
The Illini start focusing down the SCVs while they're just kind of sitting ducks. We do have 2 more command centers being built from Jimbo on the front lines even, though. So if this fortress goes down, I don't think he's going to be hurting too badly.
Now, as long as he retains the army and the SCV count, the SCVs are not being focused down, as you said.
He's got the vision from those Vikings. The medevacs are going to be pushed back as well. And the Marines, ooh, you can't really afford to stem them forward like that. 2 darn many tanks. And the advantage that Illini had before is kind of slipping out of his fingers, Penguin. He's got the lead still because this base has not been mining for Jimbo. It's just been spam repairing. So it's actually been like negative mining.
But the Hellbats actually pushed through the rest of this army, and Jimbo has held this very nicely. There's a nice little force out of Marines and a tank on the right, but Illini doesn't really... I mean, he lost a lot of stuff in that engagement, and the resources lost tab actually reflects that. Oh, and that siege tank in the front is going to go down. These blue... Oh, no, maybe not. But blue flame Hellbats.
He's just got so darn many, and I don't believe they don't benefit from blue flame, I don't think, Penguin.
They don't, but it does change the blue flame color, so it looks cool.
Fair enough. All right, tanks are unsieging, and Jimbo, as I said before, he is looking a little bit better now than he did 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, supply-wise, we're still looking pretty even, and that's mainly because Illini does have that additional base up, and he does have... Actually, there's only a 1-worker discrepancy at this point. This drop is seen by the Viking, though, and he's got to do some damage here. It looks like one of the medevacs is going to go down straight away.
The SCVs are all here in the main. They were just kind of idly non-mining, so... Yeah, if he could have picked off maybe a couple more SCVs if he was a little quicker about that, but he does get the turret, which is nice. So this might open a pathway later on.
But yeah, overall, this has not been the drop that Illini wanted it to be, I feel. And looking at his own base, he's also got a bunch of SCVs that are going to be non-mining pretty soon. He's got 15 or actually 13 of them on that one mineral patch.
Yeah, wow, at the third base location, that is oversaturation, and then 30 SCVs, okay, now he's placed them off. It was like 34 SCVs at one point. I love being able to see the workers mining. That is like the best thing they had in Heart of the Swarm. I don't care about the units, I don't care about the new maps. It's the fact that you can see how many workers you actively have mining at any given time.
And some of the actual that's really cool for observers as well. And there are also some other really cool observer features, like being able to just click on things on the production and structures tab. Take it right there. It's pretty cool. I mean, Blizzard has added some great stuff in Heart of the Swarm, so kudos to them.
I don't imagine we'll see it, but I would love to see some nukes, because again, the observer feature for nukes is pretty awesome as well.
Indeed, Rifkin.
Ooh, Hellbats, Penguin coming into the fourth base.
Oh, no reaction from Illini this time.
Not really paying attention, losing some SCVs here. That is not too fun. Not too fun at all. And he's still not reacting to this, actually. And I'm quite shocked he hasn't pulled his SCVs. He's losing quite a few of them. This is a lot of damage for Jimbo to be doing. Yeah, okay, now he's pulling back from it.
Meanwhile, Jimbo's mech army is going to be pushing on the inside third location of Illini. He does have one siege tank, but there's not really a siege line here to break, and Jimbo's going to be able to just storm up this ramp and lay siege to the third of Illini.
Yeah, Linus finding himself in quite a bit of trouble with this, trying to deal with these Hellbats. He does have some Marauders up, but you know what? This is not quite enough with the siege tanks in the back lines doing tons of damage. Look at this thing with the Hellbats. They don't even care. They're just marching on through the front lines. SCVs are being pulled. The base is lifted. These two command centers are trying to stay up. There are siege with the siege tanks where they are. Jimbo won't push up, I imagine. He's probably just going to be happy with this small victory for now. But I mean, right now, there's not a lot of line I can do. He can't break this. He doesn't have the medevacs. He doesn't have the marine support. And the third base is under siege by these Hellions.
Oh man, this is actually, they are transforming in the middle of all those tanks as well, and they will be able to take these out.
And more Hellbats are flooding in behind this. And wow, this Viking might actually pick off the command center if left unattended. Oh, Penguin, this is not looking good for Illini at all. Jimbo is causing way too much damage with these Hellbats. There have been 46 workers picked off at this point in the game.
Meanwhile, we have a fourth base going up for Jimbo as well, so he's really doing well on the back of this aggression. Expanding once again, and his 3-3 upgrades as well.
He's got a drop. He's got all of his tanks coming back to defend this, though. I don't know that Illini is going to do too much with this.
No, this is actually just sort of an anti-timing here with all of these siege tanks coming back. Could be a worse time to drop there, but he does pick up the majority of them, and of course the booster, the afterburners will allow him to get away, but yeah, the missile
afterburners right into a missile turret.
This is looking worse and worse for Illini here, and Google's Jimbo looking pretty strong. This game is not over yet, and fourth base is going to be reestablished once again, so both of them will be relatively even economically at least. Of course, the big thing here is that we have more orbital commands for Jimbo, for Illini, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yes, he has one more orbital command, so that will help to make up the worker discrepancy just a tad.
There is a structures tab now too, which is awesome for those who don't know for Heart of the Swarm. So you can see exactly how many buildings your opponent, the two players has, not your opponent. We're not playing. We don't have opponents.
Indeed. Wow, look at this tank count, Rifkin.
It is pretty massive. 17 tanks on the field for Jimbo. I mean, there's a lot of Marauders here, and if he can somehow break past these Hellbats, those tanks could be very susceptible. But you know what? Hellbats don't take extra damage from Marauders either, and they do a ton of splash. I mean, these are the tanking, soaking units you need. Hellbat tank seems to be like the prevailing composition currently in TVT for Heart of the Swarm. And today, in this game, we're seeing why.
Oh, we could be seeing an engagement here at the top left sort of area. Illini is wisened up to it before Jimbo does get the siege up first, and he is going to be able to lay siege to these tanks. One of them does go down. A couple of the Hellbats did as well, and that actually allows Illini to take a supply lead.
Look at the vision of both these players. They're just so scarcely out of range of one another. Vikings picking off these medevacs, now no longer air support. Illini has to rely on scans to be able to outrange these tanks. And if Jimbo plays this correctly, he can lose no tanks and take out quite a few.
This is really nice play by both of them. This is really precarious play. And Illini is actually going to be able to pick up a couple of tanks. A bit of an overzealous siege forward by Jimbo there. Losing one and taking a lot of damage on another. Concussive shells only just now coming out for Illini here. And given the number of Marauders he has, I think that was a bit of an oversight. But he is going to be repairing that, fixing that oversight there. And losing another tank is Jimbo. And Illini's siege line is
you have on the west part of the map a huge contingency of Marauders pushing forward. There'll be a big engage happening on these siege lines. Oh, and okay, the Marauders are going to start picking away at the refinery. The planetary fortress is still here, though. And Marauders, while they do a lot of damage to buildings, they're not the best at dealing with siege tanks and planetary fortresses. Meanwhile, Hellbats as well in the fourth base location of Illini. This stalemate has kind of involved and dedicated a lot of units to positions of the map, opening up a lot of pathways for harass. And Jimbo going to do a lot of roasting. Yeah.
Oh, one of those is actually left unchecked. It's going to get quite a few kills here if
he's not careful. It's been ignored.
Meanwhile, the continued sort of slow battle at the top left has been continuing in Jimbo's favor, actually. Only 3 tanks left.
Between North Korea and South Korea.
Oh, this is actually a really, really interesting decision by Jimbo, deciding to move forward into the siege line, losing another tank.
Really nicely with the Hellbats. The Hellbats just soak so much darn damage, and you have the Vikings land on top of that. Now we do have a large contingency again of Marauders trying to poke in and do what they can, but look at all these Hellbats back at home for Jimbo. I don't see Illini breaking this, Penguin. I don't see Illini doing any major damage anytime soon.
No, Illini is in a world of hurt now, even more so than before. We did see him stabilize last time, though, so I do believe that he can do that. He is up a base once again with this 5th base now established in the bottom right side. He hasn't saturated it just yet.
Illini is lacking a lot of production structures. He's just now getting some extra starports with tech labs. Fusion core going to be the weapon of choice. Ooh, yes, that is how you beat Marine Hellion guys. Or sorry, not Marine Hellion, Tank Hellion. You get some darn air units, and it looks.
I'm interested to see actually if he goes for battle cruisers or if he goes for just the medevac upgrade. At this point, the medevac upgrade's no longer as good as it used to be, so I would assume battle cruisers, but we'll have to wait and see.
Just with the weapon upgrades that he has for his Vikings currently.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Has he been getting upgrades?
Oh no, sorry, my bad.
No,
wrong player there. It is Jimbo with the weapon upgrades, but you know what?
Yeah.
Even if it's something simple, yeah, he's getting Ravens.
Oh, both of them are getting fusion cores though.
Well, I mean, even if it's Banshees, whether it's late game battle cruisers, air seems to be the only real way for him to deal with this. Is there's just so many Hellbats that he hasn't been able to deal with all game.
Push though, coming towards the 4th of Illini. Jimbo up 50 supply. Will he be able to end it here? He will lift the orbitals, but there's a lot of Vikings.
That might have actually been worse for him. I don't know. We'll see. He's retreating out of this. The tanks
all of the SCVs are being roasted, Rifkin. We have 77 workers killed this game by Jimbo, and Jimbo pushing forward in a commanding position here once again.
Can Jimbo break the 100? That is the big question.
This is going to be really tough for Illini to recover from here. He does. Oh no, Jimbo's checking for the 5th, and he will find it. Even more workers are going to go down right now, and this is looking worse and worse for Ernst Young.
Yeah, Google here prevailing towards the end. We got so many Hellbats. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Hellbat pop up on the Google homepage in the next couple days. But big damage being done. Yeah, it's so hard to push into this, but Illini can't push out of it, which is the more important thing. Because right now he's contained on a base. His main is completely mined out. His natural is pretty much in the same situation. This 3rd base is all he has going for him. So it's basically 1 base versus 3 for Illini versus Jimbo.
We have Jimbo moving towards the 5th location for his orbital command. Looks like he wants to take a 5th. Actually, he's going to take a 5th and a 6th. So he's just getting himself even more ahead. Looking at the workers killed now, it's up to 87. 39 to 66 is the worker count. And Jimbo just being really patient, and I think this is definitely the right choice. And he is going to try to push forward now, but I don't know if this is a good decision with this many siege tanks. He's going to try to siege up now.
The Hellbats finally go down first for once. It's about time that Illini gets past that Hellbat problem. But now there's not many tanks left for either player. These Vikings can quite frankly land on these tanks and do a lot of damage.
There is a nice little bio ball behind that. 11 units, quite a few units actually back there.
Well,
and he is continuing to produce them.
You know, Illini's finally taken another base. But Jimbo, I like this. He's actually starting to go for the ranged upgrades for his planetary and the turrets. I mean, why the heck not? Look at his bank, Penguin. Look at that guy's bank. 5k minerals, 6k minerals, 3k gas. He's looking pretty comfortable.
And here come the battle cruisers, Rifkin. 2 at a time being produced.
But it's coming out of Jimbo, not Illini.
It is.
Oh man, Illini. He's gonna try and push out again with this force, but it's kind of that mismatched misfits crew of units that's gonna try and deal with a planetary and 3 siege tanks.
I'm very interested to see what he can do with this, because we've seen Illini get better positions and engagements several times. Jimbo's been very, very good with his macro, and he's been very, very good with his just decisions of a match.
A lot of SCVs can go down. Nice
evacuation
from Jimbo. He got that out really quickly. But I mean, okay, let's not forget, guys. He's got Ravens. The Ravens now have splash damage on the Seeker missiles, so it has been reverted kind of back to the way they used to be. Not making use of them though. Okay,
here we go.
Ooh, some splash damage goes off, and the Vikings go down rather quickly.
That's the first time I've seen how much splash damage there is on Ravens, and I actually have to say I'm quite pleased with that. It's not too much, not too little.
It's just right. Yeah, it's the Goldilocks Seeker missile.
All right, so this is going to be interesting as well. When does Jimbo decide to reveal his battle cruisers? He's continuing production of them. He's also getting 6 Vikings at a time. Looks like he is switching full on into Sky Terran. Never mind, there's 9 Hellions on the way.
Well, you know what? They're kind of a mineral dump that he can afford to have right now. He's just got this massive bank. And this planetary is most likely going to go down, but there's another one behind it. So, I mean, these are time-buying structures, and that's all he needs.
This is actually, I mean, Illini is doing very well to still be holding on. He's doing very well to still be alive. He's down by 50 supply. He's way down in upgrades.
Here, this fourth base is main mining base.
Oh no.
It's about to be.
Oh no.
Blue Flame Alien is lifting up immediately.
Like 100. They're lining up
so
badly.
SCVs.
Oh no.
One more shot. 105 SCVs have been killed. Jimbo unlocking that secret caster achievement where you get over 100 workers killed in a single game. Congratulations.
How many workers is Illini at? He's actually done very well reproducing workers considering how many he's lost. He's still at a measly 36, but you know,
two base, so it's actually not too bad.
He's holding on for dear life at this point. Where are these scans going on? I'm hearing scans. I just don't know where.
I think it's just the siege lines scanning each other.
Okay, because I'm interested to see whether Illini ever figures out that these battlecruisers are on the map. He hasn't seen any sign of them so far.
Battlecruisers are suddenly going to come at him with 3 upgrades. Look at this. We got 3 for these battlecruisers. 3 armor currently already complete, but 3 weapons almost on the way. And Jimbo, he's just going to be like, surprise!
What's up, bro? Here we go!
And Illini doesn't even have the Viking count to contest the Vikings. He has no anti-air, really. A couple Marines is not going to stand up to this many units. And
this is ridiculous, Rifkin.
Jimbo, he's kind of just attack moving. Because, you know what? He's able to.
Yeah, this is the point where Jimbo can just go end the game. He's got the units that he needs. He's got the battle cruisers. I think he's up to 5 battle cruisers now.
And Illini, Illini has not broken 150 supply in like the last 18 minutes. Jimbo,
I think he had about 160 during that engagement, but of course, I mean, that's when Jimbo was like, "No, you're not allowed more than 150 supply," and that's when he moved in. So
and killed a lot of SCVs too. So, I mean, supply. Oh, yeah,
supplies.
Well, I was gonna say like battlecruiser supplies.
Oh man, siege up going down on the 5th location of Illini. Jimbo getting in a nice siege location here, and of course these battlecruisers.
I hate to be that, but Illini cannot hold this. I wish him the best, but there's just no way for him to pull this off. The command center goes down almost immediately. And Illini, he has taken another sneaky base location. I gotta give it to Illini. He's taking a lot of cheeky bases and getting around, just barely dying by taking all the extra economy. But
he is doing his best to survive for his team. I mean, most Terran players probably would not have survived this long. He's done a very good job too, but he's still in a very dire situation. As long as he's got bases mining, he's not completely out of it. But I mean, with his worker supply so low as well, his army supply is actually reasonably respectable. He's only down by 18 army supply. The problem right now is that he can't really deal with the BCs.
Jimbo's kind of like a Zerg player right now, though. Like, let's say through miracle act of God, Illini takes out all of these units. Look at Jimbo's bank. Look how many factories and starports he has on the field. He's going to reproduce all of that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, 8 factories on the field, 5 starports.
Oh gosh, Penguin. This base is trying to be evacuated, but it's
no. Goodbye.
Not really going to matter.
Yeah, this is looking grim, to say the least. But this has been a really good game from both players. Jimbo just playing it so patiently. Oh, actually, we have Ravens on the field, though, as well, with quite a bit of energy. And with the Seeker Missile costing less, if he gets some good Raven hits, he could hold on for a little while longer. But I don't see a way he can win this game.
Yeah, it's not only been a great game, but it's been a great series between Google and Ernst Young. So big props to both these guys for coming out. Thank you so much for letting us cast you. It's been a pleasure and an honor watching this happen. Now we do see Illini. He's getting this supply up. He's getting a lot more Marines, realizing there's a lot of battlecruisers to deal with. But
we're seeing, oh no, there's a siege tanks going up on the hidden expansion of Illini. Even more SCVs going down, 131.
Big push in the middle of the map. This is kind of his last chance to try and do a lot of damage, and he's going to do just that, Penguin. There's just enough Vikings to chase these battlecruisers away. 10 Hellbats.
There's 3-3 on these 3-3 on these battlecruisers. There's 1-0 on the Vikings of Illini.
Yeah, we actually just saw Yamato gun finish. This is a little unfortunate. He's not even going to be able to use that really. Viking Wars surrounded by Marines. Jimbo going to lose a large portion of his army, but Illini has lost all of his economy. Not some of it, but all of his economy.
Yeah, I mean, we see 147 workers killed, 7 left for Illini.
Oh, one single! Yamato gun does change the tide of the battle. The Vikings come out victorious, and this battlecruiser has enough energy for another one, actually. But
did they actually lower the amount of energy needed for Yamato?
I think so, because I don't remember it being 100, but I don't remember that being in a patch note either.
Huh. All right, well. Either way, we
well,
see Illini still trying to hold.
Yeah, this base is still under attack by the siege tank. The SCVs are trying to kill it, but 3 armor on the siege tank. The SCVs don't have a lot of damage.
Wow, they're actually just dealing 1 damage at a time at this point. They will kill it, though.
Yeah, we'll go down, but okay, look at this penguin. That base goes down. This is the nail in the coffin. This is Illini's last base. He's got another command center floated out, but that base is essentially mined out. This base is his, like, last bastion of hope. He's got so many Hellbats. I don't know how Jimbo could possibly lose this.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's now more than doubling the supply of Illini. Illini is at 85 supply to Jimbo's 198. And Jimbo has a combined 11,000 resources banked. So much so that he's like, oh, I'm going to add on 3 more starports. But there are Marauders pushing on forward here, going to try to take out this planetary. Not going to go very well, though.
No, definitely not. Not with the reinforcements right there.
Oh, God. Those poor Marauders.
The model gun. Oh! And
oh, dear.
Let's just keep building the starports. So, like, okay, so that was something, I guess.
Oh...
Jimbo is still under attack. Another siege tank down here is dealing promptly with the SCVs because, again, they only have 1 damage.
Yeah, and I mean, even on siege, this tank is just going to do so much damage with that +3 upgrade. It does a total of 21, so it kills SCVs in 3 shots. Meanwhile, the Marauder's going to be pushing once again.
But the Hellbats are here to greet them, man. How's it going? How's it going? You like fire? Here's some fire for you.
Or, you're fired!
Oh my goodness. Mech Strong. I think this